And what I've been doing is starting by reading some quotes from Jesus, My Autobiography, which is a channel book through Tina Spalding. And, it's wonderful quotes on forgiveness. So I had a few left. So I'll give you some of these. What you must understand is that forgiveness is the act or the statement of your comprehension of truth, your understanding of truth, which is that any crimes committed by other beings are projections of your own mind's separation and your own mind's fearful concepts. They're referring there to being upset by what other people are doing. To love and forgive those will allow you to integrate that aspect of self into mind, and you will become more whole. It is this state of peace, through the practice of forgiveness, by the understanding of the truth of your creative process, that you're able to return home and return to a state of peace and wholeness. Join us in this direction towards light, towards love, towards self-acceptance, and towards self-appreciation through the practice of forgiveness and the practice of letting go of untruths in your mind. That is all forgiveness is. You only remember the loving. You only remember the kind from the past. And you choose only to bring that with you and to offer it to your fellow brothers and sisters. The simple practice of letting go of the negative, the fearful, and the untrue will transform your body, will transform your mind, will transform your experience, and will transform your ability to tap into the creative powers that are given to you by this benevolent force that wants you to vibrate in accord with its loving, loving vibration. I remember God being described in Tina's channeling once as a loving vibration. I like that, a loving vibration. And that last quote was that if you can get in tune with that loving vibration through your forgiveness, through your lack of judgment, then everything automatically comes to you. So we're talking about a healthy body, peace, abundance on the physical plane as well. It just has to come because your vibration is now the same as the loving vibration of the Creator, which wants to give you everything. So now it all starts to come in. And so that's the sort of rewards of forgiveness, the lack of judgment. Anyone got any comments on those quotes?
Yeah. Well, I can say that in the beginning, it sounds, when I started the course, it sounds like unachievable task. But now that I'm in my third year of the course, and I can look back and compare, I'm so much more peaceful and my mind is a lot more relaxed and less attacking. So practice, practice, practice.
Yes, I like that phrase, the daily classroom of forgiveness. And there's no lack of practice or opportunity. It's all there from the moment you wake up to the moment your next door neighbor starts cutting your berries off. It's there every day, isn't it? Or physical pain. The pain comes into your head. I was listening to a teacher I like, Adyashanti, a very wise and loving guy. He was on the telephone to people ringing in. and someone says, I have a brain tumor and I, have these attacks and I have children and it's difficult. I don't know when they're coming. Then I can pass out. And he was moving her to a space of really accepting the unknown, that yes, you don't actually know what's going to happen to you, do you? He said, in fact, no one does really. I could be dead tomorrow, but for you, it's really in your face. And he said, if you can really move into that space of accepting, look, I just don't know what's going to happen about this illness. He says, you open the door to grace. And then that grace can flood into your mind and do its work. I thought that was sort of like a lovely answer. He was very kind to her. And she responded like, oh, such a total acceptance of not knowing, of being in an unknown space now, not in control anymore, and just saying yes, yes, yes. And that's the door to grace, she said. And that's another way we were talking earlier, wasn't it? Then we can let the guidance in. Because up to then there's a sort of resistance on some level, some fear, a lack of trust. Anyone else? Well, what we could do, as you're new to this, Andrada, I'm going to guide through an exercise, and then we're going to pair up in the Zoom virtual rooms so we can share anything we'd like from the exercise, and then we'll come back at the end. What we got? 2, 4, oh yeah, be 3 pairs. So we'll do an exercise we haven't done for some months, which is a powerful one. And you can bring anything into it, physical or psychological, and it's the space for guidance to come as well. And miracles can happen. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is just relax and close your eyes. I'll mute you all so there's no sounds. Mind control. Okay, you're all muted. So get nice and relaxed. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Just feel your body on the chair or the bed. Feel your feet on the floor, if that's where they are. Listen and allow any sounds to come in. And now imagine breathing in up through your legs, and tense your legs as you breathe in. Tense the muscles and relax them as you breathe out. Breathe in again and tense gently the muscles of the stomach. Breathe out and relax. Breathe in through the arms, make fists of the hands, and let go. Breathe in and squeeze the shoulder blades together. And relax. If your head and neck are feeling a bit stiff, you can rotate your head. And now silently count backwards from 10 to 0. Feeling yourself becoming more relaxed as you count. And now imagine a beautiful bubble of light surrounding you. Only the highest good, the highest love can come through that bubble to you. And now into that bubble, invite your guides. Doesn't matter what words you use. You can invite Jesus, God, the goddess. And you can imagine it as a light shining down upon you, or a hand you hold. And ask the guide to help you now in your healing. And this guide knows everything about you, but has absolutely no judgment of you. It sees your pains just as nightmares. It knows you're an eternal, beautiful, and formless spirit that's having a dream, perhaps a nightmare. It doesn't believe in the nightmare, but it knows it. It just wants to wake you up from it so you can remember who you are. Now you may know what you may want to work with at the moment. It might be a physical condition, a pain, a psychological state, perhaps sadness, depression, or anger, perhaps a relationship with someone where you've lost your peace. If you want, you can turn to your guide and say, what is it I need to work with? What needs healing? If nothing comes to mind, you can just choose someone you don't like, someone who's upset you recently. And make this real for you. If it's a person, you can imagine seeing them or the conversation and the feelings that come up. It's all right to be sad or angry, just feel them. If it's a pain in your body, you can bring your awareness to that pain, not trying to heal it or change it, just accepting it. Or a psychological state, sad, depressed, so tired. You bring your awareness to it. You allow it to be there. Let it become stronger if need be. Just feel it. And notice where these things are appearing in the body, where the judgment is, or where the sadness is. Somewhere in your body, you're holding it as a sensation or as a physical pain. If you can, if it's easy, you can put a hand, an accepting hand over that part of your body. So it's important to find some physical sensation in the body where you're holding the physical or psychological pain. And become very interested in it. How large is it? Where does it start and stop? What shape is it? How deep does it penetrate the body? Does it have a color? Does it feel any hotter or colder than the rest of the body? How dense does it feel? Does it feel like hard or soft? You're like a good scientist that's just inspecting something. Let's take another look. Is it still the same size or has it changed? How about the shape? Does it still go the same depth into the body? Any color changes? Any temperature changes? And what about density, hardness, and softness? This area is very intelligent. It also has its feelings, its emotions. What emotion do you feel there? Anger, depression, attack, sadness? How does it feel? You can, if you like, turn it into a little child, a little distressed child who hasn't been listened to. And this child will tell you how it's feeling. Just listen. It may be a little angry with you because you haven't paid much attention to it. Ask it, why did I create you? Why am I keeping you? What do you give me? If it allows you, try and pick it up and hold it against your heart and continue listening. Ask it, why am I afraid to let you go, to let you be free? And now ask yourself, is it time to be free now? Is it time to release this child into the hands of the angels and lead a new and different life? And be honest, it may not be time yet. You might be too afraid to let the child go. It serves you in some way. Or it may be the time to be free and have a different life. If you're not ready yet for that freedom, you can make the child very small, put it into your heart, and look down upon it with acceptance, ready for the time you can set it free. But if it is your time for healing, you can thank the child for the protection it gave you in some way and say the angels have come, and you release your child happily into the angels and you see it happily moving off into the light. And into the space where that child lived, you can see that same beautiful light flowing into that space in you to fill it up where the pain once was. Either decision is fine. As I say, you may want to thank the child if you're letting it go. Or if you keep the child, you can just say, I accept you. You're there for a purpose. And before you, there are two doors. The door on the left is where you're keeping the child, you need it. And the door on the right, where that opens, is the new life, where you've released the child. So you go through the door now that you've chosen, and you look at the life beyond that door. You walk that path. One carrying the child with acceptance, and the other door is a new life without the child. Just look at those lives, see if you're happy with them. You can always change your mind at any moment, including now. Take whatever time you need to complete with the exercise as far as you've gone. And when you're ready, just bring yourself back to the room. So in a moment, I'll make 3 rooms. So there'll be 2 of you in each room. One is A, one is B. A can share for 5 minutes anything they like from the exercise, and B listens but can't say a word. B's task is to listen without judgment. B is the timekeeper. At 5 minutes, you switch over and B can share for 5 minutes and A listens without speaking. Then you'll have a sign come up saying you have 2 more minutes. You stay in the room, you can just chat between each other, and then you'll be brought back. So I'll open the rooms now and I'll see you in, 12 minutes. Welcome back. Good, we're all back. Andrada seems to have turned 90 degrees. You're the right way up now, Andrada. It's probably the healing session did that to you. You're muted if you did want to say anything, but good. Yes, does anyone? Yeah, good. Good to see you the right way up.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Does anyone want to share anything from that exercise with the group before we finish tonight? There's time now.
Mine was very odd. I was saying to Andrada that I didn't really get into what you were saying, following what you were saying, because a padlock, everyone knows what a padlock, yeah. So it was unlocked on a fence, or on a gate actually, and somebody just took the padlock off and the fence fell down. And I was saying that I have felt really fenced in, because literally fenced in, because we had to put fences up in the garden, and it just, it's just horrible. But I felt it psychologically as well. But then another thing, this was really quite amusing, really, because I don't understand what it means, but suddenly a sword appeared, and with the blade down, very nice sword, and I picked it up and held it up, and then I was slaying dragons.
Oh.
Well, I say dragons, it was something odd looking, and I just presumed it was dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Just really odd. An odd meditation, Michael. Very odd.
How did you feel at the end of it? Any change in yourself?
Yeah, I felt it very emotional while you were talking. At the end, I did go, because I didn't do the child thing, I just went through the right-hand door, and my dog came to me as an adult dog.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was all lovely and nice.
So the future looks good.
Yeah, looks like it is good, yeah.
So maybe a rough patch you're going through at the moment, and then the clouds will clear. Anyone else like to share anything?
Well, I can share that at the beginning, I thought the issue is in my stomach. And then I realized it's actually in my heart. And I don't know what happened, but I didn't really follow your instructions.
That's 2 of you now. This is terrible. Carry on.
And I saw it as a black dot, and it grew to be like a black nail. And I got the feeling that because I'm very sensitive and I'm feeling a lot of stuff, that when I was younger, I just closed my heart and I got the image like I nailed him in some kind of a coffin that made me feel. Um, but eventually, I was able to ask the angels to take this from me. But I had difficulties to cross to the right door. And it felt like I'm pushing it and the door is closing on me, and I'm pushing it and I'm trying to blow it away. But eventually I passed through the door and I asked Spirit to help me understand and use the gift of feeling.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
That's it for me.
Thanks, Iris. Anybody else?
Yeah. I talked to Kevin about the pain I have in my left foot. I have a rheumatic disease, and the pain in the left ankle has been very irritating and hard last weeks. So, but I couldn't really find out what it is all about. So I had to take this little baby into my heart, and I had to go into the left door and just wait until it all unfolds so I can know what it's about. And Kevin said this about the foot, it could be something about a hindrance. I have hindrance in my way, put hindrance in my way for a healing. And maybe, as the Course says, sickness is a defense against the truth. So of course it's something there to unlock. Yeah. So I have to work on it a bit more with my healing method. So we'll see. Maybe it will go away.
Thanks, Lena. I know many years ago, I used to get problems with my legs, ankles, the whole leg. It was always, for me, afraid of my next spiritual steps. Afraid that life would change dramatically, and it did when I took those steps, and I needed to take them, but there was a fear there, and it was reflected in the legs. And when I took the steps, the healing was like very quick or instantaneous, but it took a time before I thought, okay, I'm ready to change. In one of them, I was right in the center of the Findhorn community in their core group for 2 years. And I knew I had to leave that group actually to spiritually progress, and both ankles went out. Then I saw I had to leave, and then the ankles just cleared up and I left the group, and all the prestige of that, but it was my next step. And then writing Healing the Cause book, the first book I put off for 2 years, and I wrote the first chapter and my whole leg ached and I couldn't walk. I knew that book would change my life in a certain way. And only when I finally said, okay, I'm going to write this book, the leg just improved. Sometimes it's difficult to know what it is, especially if it's been with you a long time. Anybody else want to share?
Yeah, just briefly. I had an appendix operation when I was 17, and the scar tissue was sort of, well, it hurt for like, I don't know, 10 or 15 years off and on. And then occasionally I still got a bit of a tweak, right? So when I was sat on the sofa, just the feeling did come up. So I put my hand on it as you was doing your meditation. And that's the thing that I went into exploring. And it turned out that it wasn't really speaking to me as such as a few images and then what people said and stuff. And just a general knowingness what it was trying to convey, right? And it seemed to be a self-limiting factor that I put on myself, right? Because at that time at 17, I had a little moped or something like that, and it's an exciting time. And, I was a bit twinkly, excited about the world. And then as a bit like a captive sort of baby seal, if you like, I went to a sea life centre. Baby ones are twinkly eyes and the older ones are well dull, and they're like, is this all there is? You know what I mean? So it was almost like the excitement of being young and what's going to be happening in the world as you grow up, sort of thing, and learn to drive, and that was limited. Maybe it was to stop me getting big flash motorbikes and killing myself or something. Don't really know. But now I feel that I'm responsible enough to take off the self-limiting factors, if you like, because, and then Paula, my wife, who passed a couple of years ago, picture, my eyes picture was sort of there smiling at me. And the vibe was everything in moderation, right? So yes, I'm not going to do anything stupid and go be an adrenaline junkie and skydive off a building or anything. I'm 53, kids don't want to be scraping me up off a pavement, do they? So, but it's not only that, it's everything. I've always limited myself in some respect, whether it be, even buying a lottery ticket. Oh, I'll not win that, So I've always imposed this self-imposed, something to hold you down so you can't fly. So I've released that, I believe. I tried to anyway. So yeah, so that's what that was.
Thanks, Kevin. That's interesting. Anyone else before we close? You don't have to share, but if you do, it's this time. Okay. Okay, well, that seems to be it for today. Thank you, you nice group, for coming and sharing with us. And some of you even follow my instructions. That was amazing. We all know Jill's a rebel. She'll end up in balls of light and all sorts of things. I remember one guide coming through afterwards saying, we just need you to get them relaxed and calm. And sometimes we need to give them something other than what you're giving them. But we're so grateful you've got them stopping, not moving, peaceful and calm. And now we can do something at last. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. Okay, folks, nice seeing you. Next time will be the last part of the forgiveness workshop before we move on to another workshop. So lovely being with you all, and have a great day. I've got an evening. Most of you have got a day ahead of you. And
Thank you. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Bye.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Everyone.
Video coming soon.
Bye.
If you want to do the exercise again, you can have another go.